Oman's successes and failures in the Germanic Wars. The Roman-Germanic Wars were a series of conflicts that revealed both the strengths and limitations of the Roman Empire. Rome's campaigns in Germania demonstrated its military prowess, engineering ingenuity, and organizational discipline, but they also exposed the challenges of conquering and controlling a vast, decentralized, and fiercely resistant region. Below is an exploration of Rome's successes and failures during these wars, emphasizing their causes, consequences, and lasting impact. Roman successes. 1. Early conquests and expansion. Rome initially achieved significant military and territorial gains in Germania during the campaigns of Drusus the Elder and Tiberius, 12 BCE, 9 CE. These early successes showcased Roman superiority in organized warfare and logistics. Key achievements. Drusus advanced deep into Germania, reaching the Weser and Elbe rivers, and established a network of forts and supply routes to secure Roman positions. Roman engineering, such as roads and temporary bridges, allowed legions to navigate the challenging terrain effectively. Significance. These campaigns demonstrated Rome's ability to project power far beyond its established borders. Temporary alliances with Germanic tribes, such as the Cherusci, gave Rome a foothold in the region. 2. Diplomacy and alliances. Rome successfully leveraged diplomacy to create divisions among the Germanic tribes, a key component of its strategy. Key achievements. By forming alliances with some tribes, Rome used a divide-and-conquer approach to weaken potential opposition. Roman rewards, such as gifts, trade privileges, and auxiliary service opportunities, incentivized collaboration among certain Germanic leaders. Significance. This strategy temporarily pacified parts of Germania and allowed Rome to extend its influence without direct military confrontation. 3. Germanicus campaigns, 14 to 16 CE. After the disastrous defeat at the Teutoburg Forest, Germanicus led a series of punitive campaigns to restore Roman honor and recover lost legionary standards. Key achievements. Germanicus defeated Arminius and his allies in battles like Itus Diviso, demonstrating Rome's ability to regroup and adapt. He recovered 2 of the 3 lost legionary standards from the Teutoburg Forest, a symbolic victory for Rome. Significance. Germanicus campaigns showcased Roman resilience and determination to avenge earlier defeats. The victories restored morale within the empire and reaffirmed Rome's military superiority in open battles. 4. Fortifications and the Rhine frontier. Rome's shift from conquest to containment following the Teutoburg defeat was a strategic success in securing the empire's northern borders. Key achievements. The construction of the Limes Germanicus, a network of forts, watchtowers, and walls, along the Rhine and Danube provided a robust defensive line. Cities like Cologne and Mainz became centers of Roman administration and culture, stabilizing the frontier. Significance. The Rhine frontier served as a lasting boundary between the Roman Empire and the Germanic tribes, ensuring the security of Gaul and other western provinces. The defensive approach reduced the cost of maintaining control over Germania while preserving Rome's resources for other fronts. 5. Cultural and economic influence. Despite military setbacks, Rome succeeded in spreading its culture, technology, and economic practices into Germania. Key achievements. Trade flourished across the Rhine, introducing Roman goods, tools, and luxury items to Germanic societies. Many Germanic elites near the frontier adopted Roman customs, creating a cultural hybrid zone. Significance. Roman influence in Germania persisted long after the end of military campaigns, shaping the development of Germanic societies. The adoption of Roman practices by Germanic tribes contributed to the eventual fusion of Roman and Germanic traditions in medieval Europe. 5. Cultural and economic influence. Despite military setbacks, Rome succeeded in spreading its culture, technology, and economic practices into Germania. Key achievements. Trade flourished across the Rhine, introducing Roman goods, tools, and luxury items to Germanic societies. Many Germanic elites near the frontier adopted Roman customs, creating a cultural hybrid zone. Significance. Roman influence in Germania persisted long after the end of military campaigns, shaping the development of Germanic societies. The adoption of Roman practices by Germanic tribes contributed to the eventual fusion of Roman and Germanic traditions in medieval Europe. Roman failures. 1. The disaster at the Teutoburg Forest, 9 CE. The ambush and annihilation of 3 Roman legions under Publius Quinctilius Varus by Arminius was one of Rome's greatest military defeats. Key failures. Overconfidence in Varus' leadership and Roman superiority led to poor strategic decisions, including marching through hostile, forested terrain with inadequate reconnaissance. Arminius exploited his knowledge of Roman tactics to unite the Germanic tribes and execute a devastating ambush. Consequences. The defeat ended Rome's ambitions to expand east of the Rhine and forced a reevaluation of its strategy in Germania. The psychological impact of the loss was profound, with Emperor Augustus lamenting, "Quinctilius Varus, give me back my legions." 2. The challenge of terrain and logistics. Germania's dense forests, swamps, and rivers posed significant challenges to Roman campaigns. Key failures. Roman supply lines were vulnerable to disruption, and the legions struggled to adapt to the guerrilla tactics of the Germanic tribes. The harsh winters and unfamiliar terrain hindered Roman mobility and prolonged campaigns. Consequences. These logistical challenges made it difficult for Rome to maintain a sustained presence in Germania. The cost of extended campaigns drained Roman resources and limited their effectiveness. 3. Inability to achieve long-term conquest. Despite initial successes, Rome was unable to establish lasting control over Germania east of the Rhine. Key failures. The decentralized nature of Germanic tribes meant that defeating one group often led to resistance from others. Rome's attempts to impose taxation, governance, and Roman law were met with fierce resistance, making integration impossible. Consequences. Germania remained fragmented and unconquered, posing a continual threat to the Roman frontier. The failure to conquer Germania marked one of the few instances where Roman expansion was decisively halted. 4. Fragmented alliances and betrayals. Rome's reliance on alliances with Germanic tribes often backfired, as these alliances were fragile and prone to betrayal. Key failures. Arminius, initially a Roman ally, turned against Rome and orchestrated the Teutoburg ambush. Other allied tribes frequently shifted allegiances, exploiting Roman support for their own advantage. Consequences. These betrayals undermined Rome's efforts to pacify Germania and contributed to its inability to establish control. The lack of reliable partners in Germania increased the cost and difficulty of maintaining Roman influence. 5. Overextension of resources. Rome's ambitions in Germania stretched its military and economic resources thin. Key failures. The prolonged campaigns in Germania diverted resources from other critical fronts, such as the eastern provinces and the Danube frontier. The need to rebuild lost legions after the Teutoburg disaster placed additional strain on Rome's manpower and finances. Consequences. The strain on resources forced Rome to abandon its expansionist goals in Germania and adopt a defensive posture. This overextension highlighted the limits of Rome's imperial reach. Legacy of Rome's successes and failures. The Roman-Germanic Wars left an indelible mark on European history, with both Rome's successes and failures shaping the development of the continent. Establishment of boundaries. The Rhine and Danube frontiers became enduring cultural and political divides between the Romanized West and the independent Germanic East. Influence on Germanic societies. Roman trade, technology, and military practices influenced the development of Germanic tribes, laying the groundwork for their eventual integration into the post-Roman world. Limits of imperial power. The failure to conquer Germania demonstrated the challenges of imposing centralized control over decentralized societies, a lesson that resonated throughout history. Cultural fusion. The prolonged interaction between Rome and Germania contributed to the blending of Roman and Germanic traditions, shaping the medieval European order. Conclusion. A story of strength and resilience. The Roman-Germanic Wars showcased Rome's unparalleled military strength and its adaptability in the face of adversity. However, the wars also revealed the limitations of Rome's imperial ambition and the enduring resilience of the Germanic tribes. While Rome's successes in diplomacy, engineering, and warfare were impressive. Its failures in Germania highlighted the difficulty of conquering and integrating a region defined by its resistance to centralized authority. Together, these successes and failures forged a legacy that shaped the history of Europe and the